When I was 13, I was diagnosed with anorexia. They took me to a registered dietitian. She was essentially like, you have to eat ultra processed junk food to heal your body. And even with like how little my brain was functioning at the time with no fuel, I was just like, that just doesn't sound right to me. So then I went down the rabbit hole of researching ingredients, and basically, everything in the grocery store is just ultra processed junk food loaded with harmful ingredients that would not be taking care of the only body that we get, the only body that God gave us. Because I don't think you can heal your mindset eating the ultra processed junk food. Because whatever we eat is going to impact us mentally and physically. I fuel my body with nourishing foods that God created and designed us to heal. And that's how I heal my body, is eating the foods that He created.
And we are live. Lexi, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm excited to chat with you. I'm like way booked out in my podcast. I think you scheduled with me like in April or something. Here it is in September now. But I jumped on your Instagram and I'm like, you're doing all kinds of cool stuff. You're like blowing up on Instagram and you're putting out all kinds of content. Like, how do you manage all that?
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's really fun. I really enjoy posting. It's really like a passion of mine alongside nutrition. So I really love it. Just posting what I enjoy and hoping to help others while I do it.
Where did because you found your passion for fitness and nutrition pretty early on. How old are you now?
I'm 19.
19. Okay. So you've been putting out content when you were how old?
I really just started. So I started my Instagram account when I was 14, 15, but it was originally just like healthy recipes. And then I started making the grocery store swap videos about 2 years ago.
And those like went uber viral, the swap videos. So a lot of people, 19 years old, like they're drinking, they're getting ready to go to college, they're in college, they're partying up, frat parties, sorority parties, eating, Domino's pizza for $5 for a large. Why in the world did you start getting into quality nutrition at a young age? What was the catalyst for that?
Yeah, so it's kind of a long story. I'll try to summarize, but basically, when I was 13 years old, I wanted to be healthy, and I started, diving into uh, just, I was looking online for kind of information, and I fell down the opposite, I would say, way to get healthy. I basically just was looking at the lowest amount of calories, and eventually, when I was 13, I was diagnosed with anorexia. So, my parents, I wouldn't be healed without them, but they took me to a registered dietitian. She was essentially like, you have to eat ultra processed junk food to heal your body. And even with like how little my brain was functioning at the time with no fuel, I was just like, that just doesn't sound right to me. I'm also Christian. So I was like, you know, I don't think God wants us to be fueling our body with ultra processed junk food. Like, I think we should be eating the food that He created and designed us to eat. So then I went down the rabbit hole of researching ingredients, and basically, everything in the grocery store is just ultra processed junk food loaded with harmful ingredients that would not be taking care of the only body that we get, the only body that God gave us. So, and as we know, 70% of serotonin now more research has led that like 90% of serotonin, our feel good hormone, is made in our gut. So if we eat bad food, we're going to feel bad mentally and physically. And eating disorders, they're mental disorders. So, and I think that's a huge reason why so many patients who go into like eating disorder clinics, they are force fed this ultra processed junk food, and then they gain the weight, and then they get sent back out, and then they relapse because they never heal their mindset. Because I don't think you can heal your mindset eating the ultra processed junk food. Because whatever we eat is going to impact us mentally and physically. So, I fuel my body with nourishing foods that God created and designed us to heal. And that's how I heal my body, is eating the foods that He created.
No, I can totally get behind that. What do you think the catalyst for you developing anorexia was in the first place? Like, were you heavier early on and trying to you know, counteract that? Like, what was the catalyst for that?
I think about this kind of like every time I tell my story, I always try to think, because I really don't know what caused it. I had an amazing family growing up. Like, I had a great childhood. It was nothing like that. I was not overweight. I was normal. I played like every sport growing up. I really think it's just that type A personality that a lot of us in the nutrition field, I guess, have. Um, But yeah, there's no specific point in my life that I grew up eating, I would say better than average standard American diet. Like my mom would make, she's an ER nurse and she would make homemade bread, and like make non-toxic bug spray. But then when we went camping, we'd have like, the little W's and stuff. So, um,
Yeah.
nothing that I can think of that really just caused it.
What do you like? When did you recognize that you had an eating disorder? Like, what was the point at which you realized that okay, this is not healthy, not optimal, not sustainable?
It was really months into it. I would, um, I'd say I was one trip me and my mom were taking with my grandmother, we were, like, driving to Texas, so it was, like, a 12-hour car ride, and it had been months since I, gotten down to a super low weight, and I was watching videos of people who had anorexia, and I was like, "Wow, that's just not me." Like, I don't have it, but, you know, I obviously did. I was sickly thin, and then on our way home from Texas, my mom was like, "If you don't eat, we're taking you to this inpatient center that was just, in Texas." So, it's even after I was recovered and I went to the registered dietitian, she was like, she diagnosed me with anorexia. I was like, I still didn't believe I had it, and, I guess I just disassociated myself with being called anorexic.
Yeah. Were you like tracking like with an app or something like calories consumed as early as like 13, 14 years old? Like, were you how far down the rabbit hole were you going?
I don't think I was using an app. I was just not eating. I was probably, maybe I guess some people get triggered by numbers, but it was just like probably like 500, 800 calories.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, like I look at what my 3-year-old son eats, and he probably eats more than most people walking around nowadays. I mean, he's 1,500 calories, probably no problem. So like 500 calories as a teenager, that's not much at all.
No, no, it's pretty bad.
Were you feeling like the effects of that impacting your sport performance and sleep and like bone density? Like, were you seeing like legitimate ailments starting to arise because you weren't feeding yourself fully?
Yeah, for sure. And well, I wasn't playing sports at the time. Actually, right before something crazy I do think about, right before I kind of lost all the weight, I was going from I went from being like a point guard on my basketball team, playing all the whole game basically, and then by the end I was like not playing hardly a quarter. And I don't know, I feel like that took a toll on me, just like my mental health. And then really like soon after that, I kind of fell down the route. The sports season ended, and I just kind of I think that played with me mentally and had an effect slightly to just me wanting to get better at something. And I guess that
Yeah.
was just my mindset. And then also to your question about like how I thought that what caused it, there was another situation where I was in youth church and they were doing a series of all these young adults, like 20-year-olds telling their story about how they found God, and I was just like, my story, I have no story because my life's just been, great. I've had a great childhood, and then quickly, like probably a month later, then I went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. A little bit of adversity kind of does its wonders in some form or another.
Oh yeah.
What like were you fixated on like the scale weight or like your image in the mirror? Like what was it that you were using as your proxy for progress, so to speak, during that time?
It was a scale. So, I guess you could say another thing that maybe have could have led to it. My parents had just gotten a scale because my aunt and uncle were doing this, I guess, weight loss challenge, and so I randomly got on the scale, and I was like, um, and then that was probably um November of 2018, and then I started losing weight really quickly in January. So, and
Hmm.
then I was getting on the scale then, and I think I got that high from watching it drop. Eventually, I did get so low, like I just stopped weighing myself, but I continued to lose weight.
And how low do you think you got at your lowest, even though you weren't weighing yourself? Like if you had to guess.
So that trip to Texas I told you about, I started losing weight in January-ish, and then we took that trip to Texas that June, and I stepped on my cousin's scale while we were in Texas, and I saw 68, and that kinda just made my, like, heart sink, um, but then I didn't do anything about it. Like, it was just kind of like I knew my mom was so worried about me, but it's still just it was kind of like my heart sank, but at the same time it was like, wow, I'm actually, getting somewhere. But
Yeah. And how old were you at that point?
13.
13 then? What is your walking around weight now at 19?
I'm about like 110 pounds.
Okay. You're not super tall either. That's a pretty healthy weight for you.
Yeah, I'm like 4'11", so
Yeah. So that's a good healthy weight.
yeah.
What was your like for your parents? And I'm kind of diving super deep into this because I get a lot of questions on eating disorders and whatnot. Because
Mhm.
I've been open about having some in the past, and I don't know it's like when you're open about it, people come out of the woodworks because a lot of people struggle with it and they're not vocal about it, but they have questions. Um, with you being so young, going through all this, like how was that impacting your parents? Like, what were they trying to do to correct course and fix things? Like, what did they do from a parenting standpoint for you, recognizing that you had the eating disorder?
Yeah, so like I said, I wouldn't be healed without them. My mom, she's a nurse. Like I said, she took a leave of absence from work, so she was staying home with me. Um, I think my dad, me and my mom were talking about this actually like a few months ago. I think my dad kind of disassociated myself himself with it. He didn't want my dad. He takes pictures of literally everything, and there's probably like 4 pictures of me during that time. I think that he was just so against it. So he kind of distanced himself from just, he would always when he picked me up from school, he would bring like a smoothie or like a protein bar, something like that. He would always have snacks with me, but that was just because my mom like was forcing him to tell him to take me stuff. But I don't think he hated seeing me like that. He didn't really want to look at me because he was just scared. And then my mom, she took a leave of absence from work, and then of course, they took me to the registered dietitian, which they said that helped them because when we were in the office for that time, we went back weekly, but I probably said 2 words to her the whole, time we went to go see her. Um, I never talked to her. My parents, had meetings privately, so they said that she helped that my parents said they helped her. She helped them just with like you know telling them how to help me, and she did say I had to eat ultra processed junk food to heal, but quickly, my parents, when I was like, "I'm not gonna do that," my parents didn't make me eat but like one junk food meal, and then my mom went to get like the healthy food, and that's what I ate to heal my body. Um, but yeah, that's what my parents did. So
I feel like with the registered dietitians and nurses that are seeing patients that have that been diagnosed with an eating disorder, it's like they oftentimes fall into this everything in moderation philosophy, and any exclusion of any type of food is seen as an eating disorder by them. That's why they like push having a little bit of everything, including junk food. But like everybody that I've talked to that has struggled with an eating disorder and been forced to eat junk food, like it typically backfires on them. So it's just a strange phenomenon that that's the standard of practice.
right, I don't believe in everything in moderation. I truly think that if I went to go have some Oreos today, that I would quickly relapse because I just think I just I don't think that you can heal your mindset eating the junk food. I feel like you know we shouldn't be eating little, we should be eating better, eat the real food. And I think it's just I don't know, the everything in moderation, I just don't believe it.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same camp as you on that one.
Mhm.
What did you do like from a dieting standpoint, like from a dieting philosophy, nutritional philosophy? I know you're wanting to like eat the food that's natural, wholesome, single ingredient, quality stuff. Like, do you subscribe to any specific type of dietary protocol now? Like, paleo, keto, only animal based? Like, what do you kind of gravitate to in that regard?
I always say I eat the like Lexi diet because I'm not against any whole, real, single ingredient unprocessed food. Like if it's a real food, I'll eat it. My diet does tend to fall, I guess you could categorize it in the animal based. I just love animal products. They're my favorite. And like I did go through the period of, after I would not eat any red meat, red meat's bad for you. So I did do that for a while. And even when I was anorexic, like I wouldn't eat meat at all. I was eating like a veggie burger or something. Um, but yeah, I guess you could call my diet now more animal based.
Nice, nice. What was the reason for avoiding the red meat when you were going through that chapter? Just the old held beliefs that it caused cancer and stuff like that?
I think it was that just, like, red meat's bad for you, or I saw red meat as fattening. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My family is huge meat eaters. They would eat it all the time, and they would look at me with my veggie burger and think that's crazy, so
Yeah, veggie burger is not near as good as a big old steak from a real cow. What were your friends thinking throughout this whole chapter? Like, were they concerned? Were they understanding? Like, where were they at in the equation?
Yeah, um, so it happened towards I was saying, like, it was about to start we went to Texas in June, so I had lost most of the weight in, like, when school was ending, of my 8th grade year no, 7th grade year. So I wasn't really I was talking to maybe one friend I had at my old school, and then when after that summer, I went to a new school. Um, so I was barely talking at school. I talked to her. I sat by her at lunch. She never really said anything about it. I think she said something to her mom because her mom said something to my mom about it. So she knew that I guess I was struggling. But then I moved schools, so I didn't see her, and then I went to a new school, and then they had I live in a small city, so I remember, like, one person was like, "Lexi, what happened? You used to look good." And I just remember that one person saying that and just kinda being like, "Oh, maybe my parents are right." That was at, like, the very beginning of the year. Um, but of course, a few people knew me at the new school and they knew me like what I looked like before, but nobody really said anything other than that person to my face. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what most people thought.
Well, it's definitely a shift in mindset. What do you think? What do you think led to the shift in mindset, and like how did that manifest for you? Like, did it happen pretty quickly, or did it take quite a bit of time to embrace eating more, seeing the scale weight increase? Like, what was that transition like?
So I never got saw my weight increase because they wouldn't let me look at the scale. But so I didn't worry about that. But Um, I don't know. I think I just switched my type A personality. I think I switched it from one goal to another. So honestly, it was kind of I did slowly increase the food I was eating. Um, but I don't remember it being so challenging. I think the challenging part was the seeing the registered dietitian, and she did make us one at one appointment. Right before I switched my mindset to I was only gonna eat, like, whole real foods and heal my body, she made my parents bring in Chick-fil-A, and she made my brother come, and she was like, y'all are all gonna eat Chick-fil-A in my office." And, she just kind of asked my brother these questions about, like, what he thought, what I was going through, and I was like, that was thinking back, that's, like, the most traumatizing experience I ever had, 'cause it was just so I don't know, like, I feel like eating disorders are selfish looking back, like, I made my mom take a leave of absence from work. My dad was, like, definitely worried about me, and then, my brother got out of school to come eat Chick-fil-A in this lady's office, and he was she was like, "What do you think about what your sister going through?" And it's just like, that was just a traumatizing experience. But then
Mm-hmm.
quickly after that, I was like I switched my mindset and just kind of went head first in. Like, my mom would go to the grocery store and she, like, came back with a whole bunch of just healthy options, so that was good.
Nice. What did you change your goal to? Like when you said you switched to a different goal and had that to focus on. What was that new goal materialized?
Like, getting healthy and nourishing my body through food, 'cause, eventually I knew that I had no other option but to gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were going to put me into, inpatient clinic, so I had no option.
When did you start documenting all this stuff? Like, at what phase of this journey did you start putting it all online and doing the Instagram, the videos, all that good stuff?
So I've always wanted to open a bakery growing up, and then I switched the bakery to being like a healthy bakery. So I started posting my recipes. Um, I started gaining weight at like 14, and then I would say I was at a healthy weight by like 15, and then I started posting my healthy recipes at 15. Um, and then the grocery store swap videos when I was 16, 17.
Nice, nice.
Mhm.
And was your growth on social, like, was it pretty rapid or was it just slow and steady? Like, how'd that transcend?
I would say when I started making the grocery store swap videos, it was pretty quick. Yeah, I'd say it's pretty good.
What's your go-to grocery store now? Like, where do you go and like, okay, I can find plenty of good options here.
Okay, so I don't have many good grocery stores where I live, but so I would say I shop mostly at like Costco and Publix, but my favorite grocery store is probably Sprouts.
Yeah, Sprouts is pretty good. We got a Whole Foods here that's pretty decent. Um, in Washington, when I lived there, they had all kinds of like weird, no name, non chain grocery stores that had all kinds of good options. Like Huckleberries, I think was the name of one. But it's funny, you go in, like once you switch gears in food, you know what you're looking for. You actually start reading ingredient labels and stuff. You go to like a standard Kroger or, Walmart or Albertsons, and there's just, man, there's not really many good options at all.
Right, right. Yeah, my Whole Foods closed down like 2 years ago. It was very sad.
Yeah, it's frustrating. What about like local farmers, ranchers, farmers markets, things like that? Do you have any of those in your area?
So we don't really. We had one I would sell my desserts at, but they didn't have much. Like there was no, you couldn't go and stock up on your produce or meat. And then we had to have this one place you can get quality meat about 30 minutes away. But mostly I would just order and like ship from Miller's Bio Farm or White Oak Pastures or something like that.
Yeah, White Oak Pastures is good. Do you like still produce stuff? You still bake stuff and distribute that, or how do you have that set up?
Yeah, so I sell to a local coffee shop and then just local orders.
Nice, very cool. And what is
Mhm.
primarily like baked goods?
Yes, I do. Like muffins, cake, really anything.
What's your standard ingredients for a muffin? Is it like an almond flour base, or what do you get going there?
Yeah, I use almond flour, coconut sugar, monk fruit if it's keto, maple syrup, eggs, just real food.
Are you a fan of allulose or no?
Okay, so I started researching allulose probably a year ago, and I'm a fan.
You're a fan?
I
So the,
am.
the research is pretty compelling. Like it's got a good argument going for it from a hormonal standpoint with the
Mhm.
GLP-1 and all that jazz. But it's like for whatever reason, allulose kind of messes with my gut. So I'm always gravitating towards like stevia or monk fruit because those seem like pretty foolproof options.
Yeah, yeah. I guess just individuality.
Yeah, I do not like the erythritol and all that stuff. That definitely messes with
Right.
my gut. But everybody's
Yeah.
so different when it comes to what they tolerate from a GI standpoint.
For sure.
So what are you doing sports wise now? Do you have anything that you're training for doing from an athletic standpoint?
So I started running in high school. Like after I went through all that, I did cross country, which I still love running a lot. I kind of cut back when I graduated high school. Now I'm really just like I go on my morning rucks with a weight vest, and then I lift weights. So I've really gotten into lifting after I graduated too, and love that.
Yeah, lifting's the way to go. I have been wanting to get more into the rucks though. I feel like it's like way better than walking from an expenditure standpoint, and you can progressively overload it, but you're not at near the risk of injury of running. So I feel like weighted rucks is like low hanging fruit for anybody that wants to build more muscle and be more active.
Yeah, I do it like every day. I love it.
You have one of those actual Go Ruck packs, or what are you using for the weighted vest?
It's like it's when you put over your head, and then it has weights on the front and the back.
Okay, so
So
it's like a vest instead of a backpack then.
yes, yes.
Gotcha, gotcha. What weight are you using on it?
I'm doing 20s, and then I have wrist and ankle weights I wear that are 5 each, so it makes it 40 pounds total on my rocks.
That's a lot. If you're weighing 110 pounds, you got 40 pounds you're carrying around. How far are you going?
Like 2 to 4 miles usually.
Is it like pretty flat or is it pretty hilly terrain?
It's flat. We don't have
Flat.
hill. Mm.
That's pretty impressive though. You're in Texas, you said?
Alabama.
Alabama. Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. From a content standpoint, where are you taking it going forward? Like, what's the trajectory there? Are you going to focus on the food swap videos, or what's your big picture plan in that regard?
I guess so. I mean, people seem to I feel like it's much needed. I started making the grocery store shop videos because I had friends and family asking me, like, is this healthy? Is that healthy? And it's like really eye opening when people are like, oh, our Cheerios aren't a good option. And I'm just like, oh gosh. So I feel like everybody, can continue to learn from the grocery store swap videos. So I don't plan on stopping those. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm open. Who knows what the future holds? So
It's kind of wild. Like we take for granted what we know about nutrition, but then you like talk to family members or friends that are wanting to get healthier and ask questions, and it's like so many people don't even know what macronutrients are. Like they don't know what a carb is in food, what foods contain carbs versus protein. I mean, it's crazy. Like people think of peanut butter as a good protein source,
oh
and
god.
it's like it makes no sense.
No, I get that all the time. If I'm not having like a bowl or a fruit with in my full day of eatings, they're like, "Where's the carbs?"
Yeah, yeah, it's
But
wild.
yeah.
When it comes to you having kind of like established the content you're putting out, the trajectory you're headed on, all at 19, like that's pretty wild when you stop and think about it. Like a lot of people flounder about throughout their 20s. I mean, I've got friends that are 30s and 40s even and have no clue where they're going in life. Do you feel like you've got a pretty good handle on who you are as a person and kind of solid in where you're headed, or do you still feel like you're discovering a lot still?
I mean, I don't know. I always feel like I can be doing more. I feel like I can be further in life, to be honest. I don't know. Sometimes it stresses me out. Like I don't know. I don't think I know who I have goals and I want to accomplish them. So I don't really know if I know who I am yet, I guess.
What are the goals? Let's just lay them all out there.
Oh gosh, like I don't know. Like I want to move to Florida. That would be great. I do plan on doing that. I want to open. I feel like opening a storefront would be so much fun. Just selling like I don't know. I've thought of having like a coffee shop where I can sell raw milk lattes. I feel like that would just be so cool. Um, yeah, those are two huge ones. I feel like.
Is Florida pretty chill on raw milk, or are they like a stickler about that? I don't know. Every state's different.
So that's actually where I drive to get my raw milk. It's like an hour away.
Okay,
Um, but I feel like yeah, I feel because there's a super cute shop where I wanna move, and they just sell it right up, and they sell, raw chocolate milk with honey, which I think is so cool, but
nice. Yeah, we've got like a local. We got like an egg lady. We got a raw milk lady. We got a guy that I get my beef from. I hunt a lot, so it's like you've got to have all these connections. But like with raw milk, it's like some states, it's like a freaking drug deal. Like you gotta, go undercover and like be all discreet about where you're getting your milk from. There'll be like a drug bust on it. It's wild.
it's crazy, crazy.
Makes no sense. Makes
No.
no sense. You have any siblings or just you?
I have 2
You got
older
a brother.
mm, yeah,
So
2
you have two older.
yes.
What are they interested? Are they putting an emphasis on nutrition as well, especially in light of seeing you go through all this, or is it kind of like an afterthought for them?
Um, so my oldest brother, he's done carnivore for a few times.
Nice.
He did it with me once, but and then my other brother, he eats pretty healthy. Just what we have at home is healthy, so he eats healthy at home, but then I'd say they go eat out sometimes, so they care about it, but I guess not as much as me.
Yeah, it's siblings and family are oftentimes the hardest ones to get on board. I mean, like my mom's on board with it all. My dad's kind of he eats good food, but he eats a mixed diet. And then my brother, pretty sure he just lives off of gummy worms and gummy bears. No matter how much I talk to him about it, it's like he's super active and he's skinny, so he feels like he's healthy and doesn't need to worry about what he's eating. But it's like, man, there's the compounding effect of that over a lifetime is going to catch up with you for sure.
Oh, right. Yeah, my mom's super into it too, and then my dad just eats whatever she cooks, so
Well, I mean, I think if you just control what's in the home, that
mhm.
makes the massive impact. I get questions all the time about, how do you keep your kids eating a certain way? It's like you're the one doing the grocery shopping, like just
Yeah.
bring in good foods and then it solves the problem right there.
Yeah, they'll eat what's in the house.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What about, are you studying anything? Like, are you going to have like a specific trajectory as far as like schooling and stuff goes, or what are you leaning towards there?
So I did Mark Sisson, do you know him?
Hmm.
Or yeah, I did Mark Sisson's Primal Health Coaching Institute. So I technically am a primal health coach. I don't practice one-on-one, but I just like to have it. I would like to do a few more nutrition courses. I'm not going to college. Um, but yeah, that's what I plan.
What was your takeaway of the Prima Health Coaching? Was it pretty solid?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm trying to think of there were some things I don't agree with. He was kind of like the alcohol in moderation. I'm pretty anti-alcohol. Um, but yeah, overall it was pretty the foundations were whole, real single ingredient foods, so I enjoyed that.
That's good. Do you get a lot of pushback from your friends at 19 when it comes to alcohol? Like that's when I started drinking, probably 19, and then I stopped drinking when I was 21, more or less.
Yeah, so I don't really I don't hang out with any of the friends I have that I went to high
That's the
school
key.
with. I don't,
That's the key.
most of them went to college. Most of them either went to the college in my small hometown or they went to, like, University of Alabama or Auburn. Um, so I don't hang out with them, but the friends that I do have are, social media influencers, so we kind of are all aligned, but most of my friends I went to high school with do drink, and I
Yeah.
content, some of them, so probably just goes in one ear and out the other, but
Yeah, it's all about like who you're spending time with and interacting with. Like when you change your friend group and circle, it makes all the difference in the world. It makes sticking to whatever it is you're doing much easier or much harder if you're depending on who you're with, for sure.
right,
Um,
like yeah, sure.
when you're doing all this social media, are you primarily on Instagram? Like, what's your main platform?
I do them all. I think I do, like, basically every social media there is, but Instagram's primary.
Instagram. What from like a video standpoint, have you found that the same kind of content does well on both YouTube and Instagram, or is like, one audience demographic more receptive to content in the shorter form on Instagram?
Yeah, I would say not really. I can post the same video on all platforms, and one goes viral on TikTok and then doesn't get much interaction on Instagram and vice versa. Um, comment-wise, I would say I feel like TikTok's mean, like, TikTok is brutal over there. Um, a lot of the comments I get on TikTok, I feel like it's a younger audience, and it is like, "Oh, you're causing eating disorders," and blah, 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 which I get that a lot, or that I've switched one eating disorder for another, and I do wanna make the point of the on that because I get that a lot, is that how I know it's not an eating disorder is because when I was going through that, I was so trapped, like, I was so isolated, I didn't wanna do anything, I had no energy, I didn't wanna go to travel, and now, like, I travel so frequently, I go to any social event that I can, and then I get invited to, and then, like, I feel like my life is just so free now. And speaking from experience, like, I know what an eating disorder feels like and how
Hmm.
self-isolating it feels. So I can confidently say that I know that I haven't switched it for another one. It's just because like, I've never felt more free. I've never felt, like, as confident. And, yeah, I don't think my life right now is what an eating disorder feels like, and I don't think you can just diagnose that over what you see on social media.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I'm the same boat as you. Like, I had an eating disorder, and then eating real food. I think a lot of eating disorder is triggered by having a sense of guilt associated with the foods you're eating. And if you're eating real high quality food, like you don't really feel guilty for it. Like, there's no
Right.
sense of guilt associated with it. And if you don't feel guilty, it's like you're less prone to fall into that negative downward spiral.
Exactly, and just like the our grandparents have an eating disorder because they didn't eat, any junk food, like, it just wasn't around. They had no choice, like, that's crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'm not on TikTok though. That's like the one platform I haven't really scratched the surface on, but I probably should because that's where a lot of people's eyes are.
Yeah, there's a lot of people over there, but be prepared.
It's hard to manage it all though. How are you keeping track of those? You have like a team? Are you doing all this yourself?
It's all me. I'd say I spend, like, 2 hours in the morning before the gym just posting all my videos and answering messages and editing and stuff like that, but I love it, like, I wouldn't trade it. It's really fun to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool too that like you can have a passion, put out content and value around it, develop a following of like a loyal audience that values your content, and then all the opportunities and doors that opens for you. I mean, it's like, when I was growing up, if I didn't go to college, it was like taboo. And plus my family was in academia, so it was just kind of like expected. And that's just what all my peer group did. And now it's like, if you've got the ability to hustle and work and do something that you feel good about and make a meaningful impact, like the world is your oyster. You can do anything.
For sure. I started making my videos in my senior year and I went to a college prep school. So we would have college counselors come to our classroom like once a month and I was just like and they would like make me do all these things for college and like send applications to college and like I knew I wasn't going to college. I was like I'm not doing this, but I would just kind of make it look like I was sending applications and stuff, but I was just like college is not for me and I didn't go and I don't plan on it.
Yeah. Yeah, living life with no regrets is the thing. I mean, everybody's path is going to be different. Some people make perfect sense to go, some people not so much, you know.
Right.
You got to it's an awesome blessing though that you had the hardship early, recognized the trajectory that was putting you on, corrected course and then developed, a calling for the stuff you're doing now at such a young age. I mean, like that is super impressive and I don't know, like you can't ever take that for granted. Like that's freaking rocking it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Well, where do people go to follow you and check out all the food swap videos and just dive deeper into your world?
Yeah, so all of my social media is at Lexi Noel V.
At Lexi Noel V, and that's on
Mhm.
Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. What else you got rocking?
Substack, X, Snapchat. um,
You do have them all.
yeah, I'm probably forgetting some, but
Yeah, is Snapchat and like TikTok are they different enough to warrant having each platform? Or are they pretty much a lot of the same audience?
I would say do 'em both. I mean, why not? Because
Yep.
apparently what I've heard is Snapchat is becoming really, really great for influencers, and it's a great way to reach people. Because now they have, like, I didn't even know I thought Snapchat was just for sending pictures to friends and, posting on your story for your friends, but, they now have this For You page, so you can scroll just like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, so might as well do them all.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna follow you just so I can stay up to date with all the social media happenings for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome, Lexi. Well, I'm super stoked for what you got cooking. And it's awesome. Like I have no doubt that you'll be opening up your raw milk latte coffee shop and bakery in Florida whenever you so choose.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you. You too.